heart surgeon used to take his car for a regular service to the local garage where he usually engaged in little friendly conversation with the mechanic. On one such visit, the mechanic asked him, "Doctor, I've been wondering, you and I do roughly the same kind of work. Why is it that you get paid several times more than I do?" So the surgeon asked him to explain further. The mechanic pointed to the big complicated engine that he was working on and said, "See, I check how it is running, open it up, fix all the valves and put it all together again so that it runs almost as good as new. You do the same thing and yet you get paid many times over. What might be the reason?" The cardiac surgeon thought for a moment, then smiled gently and said, "Well, try it with the engine running." The surgeon had what may be called as an insight. The term refers to a sudden comprehension that usually helps either to solve a problem or to clear up an ambiguous situation. When people see connections that had previously eluded them, they are said to have a flash of insight. Insight is actually a process of mental restructuring that leads to a sudden gain of either some explicit knowledge or an implicit understanding of the way inner things are. Insight is often gained through a process of emphathetic inquiry or sometimes introspection. But most usually, insight is gained through the faculty of intuition. But whatever be the source of insight, it always yields changed behavior. While an insight seems to pop into the person's awareness seemingly out of nowhere, its chief characteristic is that it yields a different perspective or a way of looking at things. So there was a philosophy professor who gave an unusual exam to his class one day. He placed his chair on the desk and simply wrote on the board, "Prove that this chair does not exist." The students quickly got down to writing long, winded explanations, except for this one student who handed in his paper after merely 30 seconds. This led to amused and amazing glances from all the students as well as the professor. But when the grades were handed out after a few days, everyone was in for a surprise. The student who had answered within 30 seconds had been adjudged the very best. To the query, "Prove that this chair does not exist," guess what was his answer? The student had merely written 2 words on his exam paper. What chair? That's insight for you in action. Thank you.